Hare Krishna. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So now we welcome you all. So today we are going to have the Bhakti Sanga newsletter interview with His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji. We are really very fortunate to have Prabhuji on call, and we welcome Prabhuji to the call, and through him we will come to know how to be stable in Krishna consciousness. And really we thank Prabhuji for giving his valuable time and association today for joining with us for this interview. So before moving to the interview, I would like to give a brief introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and he is the Dean of Bhakti Vedanta Vidyapita at ISKCON Govardhan Eco Village outside Mumbai. He regularly conducts online and residential spiritual courses for children, teens, and adults, and has delivered over 7,000 plus hours of spiritual discourses in different forums, including ashrams, schools, colleges, corporate events, and platforms like TEDx, Rotary Club, DRDO, etc. He is a member of the ISKCON Board of Examinations and the GEV Administrative Council, and oversees the temple worship and Vrindavan Forest at GEV. And Prabhuji has authored over 30 books, including the Shubodhini series, which is very famous, and also the Pravaha series of storybooks and self-enrichment books like Answers to Life Questions, etc. And his famous children classes are also going on, and the books on that is Gita Wisdom Tale, Bhagavatam Tales. So, and over 150,000 copies of Prabhuji's books have been sold. And Bhagavata Subodhini is a systematic multi-volume study guide for Srimad Bhagavatam, compiled by him, has gained him laurels from many Vedic scholars and academicians alike. His book Gita Subodhini, Chaitanya Subodhini, etc. Are adored by the community of scripture lovers. And we can see all his books, how it's worldwide distributed. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji's service is going on and on and on. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for coming on the call and giving us your valuable time and association. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I just want to know how we have come to this Krishna consciousness, and what you would like to tell to the neophytes or the children, mainly for the children. So children, they are, means like parents, they must be devotees, right? So, but children, they are not devotees. So they may be upcoming devotees. So what do you like to tell to them about this Krishna consciousness? So first of all, I want you to say about your experience in Krishna consciousness.
Okay. So I was fortunate enough to come in contact with devotees during my college days. First, when I joined my master's in the Indian Institute of Science in 2005, August. Then I found a beautiful picture of Murali Krishna in my hostel room, and searching for that picture, I ended up going to ISKCON temple, and I bought that picture along with a book by Prabhupada. And seeing that picture and book in my room, one of my classmates introduced me to some devotees who are there in my college hostel. And eventually, in their association, by reading Prabhupada's books, by regularly going to temple, I became inspired to take up Krishna consciousness more seriously. I became inspired to chant Hare Krishna and read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. I have been reciting Bhagavad Gita shlokas since my childhood under the direction of my school teachers and also my father. but I never knew the meaning of the shlokas. Few shlokas I knew, but never contemplated on them, reflected on them so deeply, till I opened Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is and systematically studied it. So that gave me a deep inspiration of like what is the purpose of human life. What are we supposed to do as human beings? How are we different from other species of life? Is the aim of life just earn some living, do some studies till 20 or early 20s, and then find a job, get married, again get children and then raise them? Is this cycle of life seemed a bit monotonous to me, right? There may be something more that we need to accomplish as human beings. I felt like that in those days in my early 20s. So then eventually, when I got a job in Mumbai, I got the opportunity to stay in Radha Gopinath temple in ISKCON Chowpatty while doing my job also. So I used to do Bhakti Shastri. I attended Bhakti Shastri classes there. And eventually, while working, I got the opportunity to see the life of brahmacharis in the temple. The life of so many devotees, hundreds and thousands of devotees were coming to the temple every week, participating in Sunday feast program, Saturday morning Bhagavatam, Sunday morning Bhagavatam. I see hundreds and thousands of Grahastha devotees coming inside the temple to participate in all the temple events and participating in the festivals. And I saw at least 100 brahmacharis living in the temple and serving the deities and serving the congregation. So that vibrant, spiritually surcharged, vibrant ambience gave me also a desire to live a life like that. So I took a quite courageous and bold step in those days, considering me as a person who is more introvert and not so, what to say, outgoing, little more reserved. But to make such a bold decision against the wish of my parents was quite challenging for me. But internally, I found it very natural for me to live a life like this than life in the busy world. Of course, there are so many wonderful Vaishnavas, devotees who are a part of congregation, living their Krishna conscious life in a very exemplary way, helping others also to become Krishna conscious. They are also actively participating in preaching and festivals, bringing more people to bhakti. So, but somehow I felt that, okay, both options are fine, both are good. Our seniors also told us, right? It was never the training that we had in our in early days. It was never biased towards one particular ashram, right? But it was a choice given to us, right? So red dress also suits you, green dress also suits you. You decide your according to your taste. It's like that. Okay. So that kind of balanced understanding of how life in Krishna consciousness would be in these two ashrams, we were taught, we were educated. So many devotees who are senior members of our congregation, they came and gave us presentations. So many senior brahmacharis in the temple, they also gave us presentations. So by hearing all these multiple speakers, so eventually I ended up developing an inspiration. Okay, let me try. Let me at least give a try to live like a brahmachari, sitting in the temple with very minimal facilities and maximum responsibilities. Right. So I tried that. Then eventually we were instructed by our spiritual master, His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj, to shift from Chowpatty to GEV as soon as our training is over. 2009, we resigned our jobs and joined the temple. 2010, 1 year we stayed in temple, Chowpatty. In 2010, we were asked to go to Govardhaniko village. At that time, there was nothing here. There were some plants, there's land, there are a few cows and some kids, Gurukul kids. So, and few members of congregation also were there. But 13 years down the line, the GEV where I'm staying now, it developed a lot with multitudes of temples. We have Radha Vrindavan Bihari temple here. We have Radha Madan Mohan temple. We have Giriraj, and we have a replica of entire Vrindavan forest, where we have a replica of Yamuna.
Actually, entire Vrindavan, mini Vrindavan, we can say, right, Prabhuji? Govardhan Eco Village.
Yes,
Have shared
yes.
devotees.
All major spots of Vrindavan are replicated here. Samadhis, major temples, so the forests. So, anyways, last 13 years I have been here. So this has been my journey till I became a brahmachari from my early student life. Any other question? Did it answer your question, or you have any more things to ask?
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, yeah, you were saying, right? From your childhood, you are in Krishna consciousness, right? So,
No.
which means
No, since childhood I was
you
not.
you started reading from which age, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
The learning
as
shlokas.
a child, we were learning Vishnu Sahasranam.
It was from the school only.
Bhagavad Gita from the school days, from my childhood. So that's a culture that is given to us by our parents. But
Oh.
but coming in touch with ISKCON happened when I was in 21, 22, you can say actually.
22
So
years.
before that,
Okay.
it's not ISKCON. Of course, that is also Krishna consciousness in some way, right? Some kind of spiritual culture was there, but it was little minimal, right? Yeah.
Okay. So, and in your now you were saying that you were against your parents, right? So coming into Krishna consciousness, they were, but they you also you told that they taught you this culture of reciting the Bhagavad Gita verses and Vishnu
Yes.
Sahasranam. So then, how can it
Basically,
be against for them?
my parents never opposed my practice of bhakti. They were only concerned, how will I live outside home? They said, you get married and then continue practicing your bhakti or Krishna consciousness at home, not wearing saffron and shaving your head. They are against my ashram, not against my bhakti. Right?
Oh.
Now they are very happy that I have taken that decision. Right? Initially, definitely, when you invest so much of love and emotions and so many feelings in a relationship, and 20, 22, 23 years, you like the parents had a lot of hopes on the children, and suddenly at the age of 24 he says, I'm no more there, part of your family, I'm part of that family. Right, I'm a monk. So that's a little shocking for them, not little, quite shocking for them. But at the same time, I used to visit home. Although I'm staying in ashram, I would go home every year, sometimes 2 times in a year, just see them. So I was not neglectful towards them, and I was not. I was, and I am not ungrateful to them. Definitely, my inclination to take up to the path of Krishna consciousness is originally inspired by them only, because of the spiritual culture that they have given me in my childhood, right? I became inclined to read Bhagavad Gita and practice Krishna consciousness. So I must express my deep gratitude to my parents for raising me in a very spiritual way, right? Yet it was not ISKCON culture. There was no ISKCON only. Till I came to Bangalore, I never heard the word ISKCON in Andhra. ISKCON.
You were in Andhra at those times. That's what you were saying, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then how you came in contact with ISKCON? Means like you were shifted for something or the other to Bangalore. That's how you came in contact.
College.
College.
I joined in my masters in
Okay.
IISc Bangalore. So that's where I first heard the word ISKCON.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. So, and you were you told that you were learning the shlokas from your childhood, right? So, and now we see in all your classes, and we have, as I mentioned in the introduction, that we have so many books of yours. So, how you got inspired to write these books, Prabhuji?
In my childhood, I saw my father writing notes nicely. He would read Bhagavad Gita or Ramayana or something, some religious book or some spiritual book, and he would make some notes. And even his office files and other things also, he would maintain nice records, right? So since childhood, I never read a book without taking some notes. So taking notes has been innate in my system. Probably seeing my father, I learned it. My father used to be very strict. My handwriting also should be proper. If I don't write it neatly, he would become strict with me, right? So like I have that habit of taking notes.
So that goes for notes also. Notes
My
we
academic
is
books
like
also.
we have to write
Academic books.
quickly. Okay.
Yeah. Academic books also, like in my college, school also, I used to maintain nice notes. Sometimes my teachers also used to borrow notes from me, and some other students, they used to Xerox my notes and then handwritten notes. So, anyways, so I was taking that notes and making some PPTs to speak to teach Bhaktivedanta Vidyapit students. So one of our devotees, Nimai Leela Prabhu, he saw that and said it's worth publishing. Okay. Then eventually I worked on Bhagavata Subodhani first volume, first canto and second canto, and published it. So then devotees had some doubts. Okay, will this be accepted? It's not like a proper book. Generally, book means an author would write some series of paragraphs, divide things into chapter and chapter by chapter. But mine is like just following the flow of Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam by Prabhupada. But things are presented in a little concise manner with tables and flowcharts and block diagrams and some links and connections. It's like notes. So, but devotees accepted it, and then publishers got some confidence. Yes, this book also, because they have to invest money, right, to publish the book. So they found it useful, and eventually I started writing. Then I got into Bhagavad Pravaha, then Bhagavatam Tales, as I interacted with kids. So other books followed. So Bhagavad Subodhani was the first publication, and this was the background for it.
Yeah, that is really very helpful for all of us to study and to explain to the children also. And yeah, for elders, yeah, you started, okay, Prabhuji. So then how you got this idea for compiling for the children also? Because I see in most of your classes you give for children classes very nicely, and children are also very cute. They are also like reciting the shlokas very nicely in your classes. So how was that possible?
Initially, I was speaking to brahmacharis, eventually to congregation.
And one more,
and
sorry,
my
Prabhuji,
writing was also, yes,
sorry to interrupt. One more is like you were saying that you're very reserved type, right? So then how you came out of that and giving so many nice lectures and.
Okay. I'll answer both questions one by one. So first, initially Bhagavad Subodhani was for adults, and my lecturing also was mainly to brahmacharis and congregation. And during COVID time, somewhere in 2020, early 2020, uh, uh, like when I started traveling to different places in 2016, 17, 18, then I found that even Bhagavad Subodhani is also a bit high for some devotees. It's like too systematic, flowcharts and all that, it's to the point. So for devotees who do not have so much time to go through the elaborate, voluminous Bhagavad Subodhani version, we need to give them something which is very crisp and fast, where they get a glimpse of entire Bhagavatam by reading one book. So that's the background where I wrote Bhagavata Pravaha, like a story book. So just a quick summary of all the 12 cantos of Bhagavatam in a book which is less than 300 pages, and some lessons from every story. So then COVID started. This was launched somewhere early in 2020, Gaur Purnima time somewhere. Then COVID started. Then some of our devotees felt that children are at home. At the time, they did not have online classes also, it seems. So as a matter of necessity to educate them in spiritual culture because they are free, so some of our devotees started using Bhagavat Pravaha as a material to train children. Then I said, this book I never wrote for kids. I wrote for adults only. No, Prabhu, we will use it. We don't have anything else to present to kids. So you come and give classes also. Then I started my first online classes with children on Bhagavad Pravaha book. So then, while speaking to them, of course, some of them are very nicely trained by their parents, and they also are very nicely grasping. They're able to recite shlokas, because without shlokas, I cannot speak. The English doesn't come out without quoting the Sanskrit shloka sometimes for me. So I speak shlokas, and they are also learning. They may not understand deeply the meaning of the shloka, but they're excited to memorize it and repeat it and recite it, right? So eventually, like, I got accustomed to speaking to kids based on Bhagavad Pravaha. Then I felt, no, this Pravaha is not written for kids. There's a lot of philosophy also in Pravaha. So then I started writing Bhagavatam tales for children after speaking to them for at most almost a year. Then I planned for a children book series, the same Bhagavatam. I thought of multiple options. Okay, should I present all the kings from Bhagavatam, then all the children devotees from Bhagavatam like Dhruva Maharaj, Nardaman in his past life, Prahalad Maharaj, Parikshit, Uddhava. So like that I made 6 book series, right? But later I thought, let me first present chronologically Bhagavatam first canto to last canto in a chapter by chapter manner, with pictures, with lessons that they can relate with activities that they can attempt, with story narration and principles and morals that they can connect with. And pictures also will make the pastime more lively. So then I worked on Bhagavatam tales, and there's an illustrator in our hometown. He's Venkataramana. He's an elderly person, like around 50s or close to 60s. So I saw his illustrations work when I think it was in early 2008 or 9, maybe 10, at least some 13-14 years back. I have seen his publications available in bookstores. Then I purchased some. The paintings are very nice. Not paintings, they're like computer generated pictures only, graphics. So I found that. And at the end of the book, he gave his phone number also. Okay. Then I called him. I am planning to write Bhagavatam tales. Can you work on illustrations for me? Then he said, okay. Then I sat with him, explained to him the stories, and then he has made that sketches, right? And all the human figures he has made. Then I know Photoshop and all, I have assembled them and have put some backgrounds by downloading things from here and there. Then I just made Bhagavatam tales for children. So then I started writing Gita wisdom tales also for kids. Parallelly, my children classes are also going on. Whenever we launch a book, there is a course on that book. Many kids come for that. So eventually I got into this. Basically same subject matter. Bhagavatam only. Whether it is Subodhini or Pravaha or Tales or Viveka or Pradipika or Ratnamala, everything is Bhagavatam only. But the presentation is little different according to the intended audience.
Very inspiring, Prabhuji, actually. So, actually, yeah, as you said, when in your classes, we can see more of shlokas quoting. So, if we see when you give classes, our chat box will be filled with all your shlokas. So, so thank you so much for giving us such a nice classes with the scriptural references. So, Prabhuji, you were saying initially that you were working also, right? You were working in Mumbai. So then, and you were also connected with the temple. So how we were able to balance both?
It was
And
a bit difficult.
yeah,
Not a bit,
so
quite difficult.
because now we have so many grahasthas going for work, and also they're doing this sadhana, right? So what do you like to say, tell to them how to balance?
I would say some senior congregation members should answer this question. Also, I was working and also doing my spiritual life, but not as a family man. I was alone. I was a bachelor. I was working 8 hours in office, at least 3.5 hours in traveling in local trains in Mumbai. So at least 12 hours, 12, 13 hours on a day will go in that, and thoroughly exhausted. The rest of the time is for sleeping, eating, morning program, japa, some scriptural study, some classes in the temple. It's like 24 hours is jam-packed for 1 year. 1 year, 9 months I worked. So, and devotees who also have their family and children to take care of, for them, it's like even more overwhelming. As a bachelor, it was little tough for me to handle. Of course, for me, the biggest problem was 3.5 to 4 hours of travel time. Those who do not have that much travel, like I have to travel from Chowpatty all the way to Thane. It was like overwhelming. Daily 3.5 to 4 hours of train travel, road travel, like that. When that is not there, I think it may be little manageable if the office is closed. And nowadays, work from home culture is there, right? So
Yeah.
that also facilitates many things. And when devotees are little experienced in their work, they can do this much work in this much time so that they can optimize time. So basically, we need to plan time. 13 years back, 14 years back, when I was working, I was very new, very young, 23, 24, like that. So it was not, like, it was tough for me. But now devotees are there who are very much experienced. They can do it more effectively. They can guide you in a better way. We can definitely share some time management tips and other things. That I have learned now in the recent past, not as a working professional. And I hardly work for 1 year, 9 months. My professional
Okay,
experience
so
is not so
then
good.
how do you do your daily sadhanas, Prabhuji? Because you're writing books, you're giving classes, both for elders and even the kids also, right? So, and then you're having some services at the temple also. So then how you do your sadhana daily, what is your daily program?
In the morning, we have 4:30 Mangalarti. It goes up to 5:10, 5:15 sometimes, up to Sikshastakam and all that announcements.
Actually, we find struggle in chanting, like
Yeah.
from morning to evening. So, like a few of us, we will take that 16 rounds, it will be like separated. Although we hear in so many lectures that at a go, we have to finish it and we have to do our other work. So, but still, we find it difficult to make it progress. So, what would be your how your sadhana is, and what would be your advice for us to follow this? Means like any tips can you give for this?
So our routine is like this: morning 4:30 Mangalarti, then it goes up to 5:15, 5:10. Then we have time till 7 o'clock to chant. So that 1 hour 45 minutes time is sufficient time for many of us to complete our 16 rounds, right? And sometimes, like, we may not report exactly at 4:30, we may come at 4:15, 4:20 also sometimes. So there may be 1 or 2 rounds we chant before Mangalarti also. So like somehow before 7 o'clock, when the darshan opens, many of us complete 16 rounds. Many of us, may not be all of us. Some of us are also into morning dressing seva, at least weekly once or maybe sometimes twice. So that time we may have to get up a little early or then chant after dressing. That flexibility we should have. So in my case, yeah, this is my routine. When I don't have morning dressing, then morning japa will be completed before 7 o'clock mostly. But sometimes I take online classes morning at 6 o'clock or 6:30, 7 o'clock. So that day I would just chant a few rounds before Mangalarti or sometimes during Mangalarti, right? If it is like too tight schedule throughout the day. So yeah, as much as possible, if we try to complete our 16 rounds before Darshanarati, then during the day we can peacefully focus on our other services. But if rounds are left and sun rises and passion increases, we may have to divide our attention between chanting the remaining rounds plus the services that we have. So it's always better to complete rounds as early as possible in the morning, where we don't have multiple engagements. We have only one focused thing. Still, mind goes here and there. So yeah, and once the day begins, then we have many other services, management meetings, we have Brahmachari Care Body, we have GAC, Govardhan Administrative Council, there is Festival Committee, so we have to attend multiple meetings and some coordination. And these are all like mandatory, unavoidable, inevitable works that I need to attend to. Once this is done, whatever time I have, I just use for reading and writing. So today I have some meeting, like morning 10:30 to 12 o'clock or 12:30 I have. So that is spent. So rest of the day I have, right? So that I just read and write. And classes are there. So classes I have to attend. I have to give class or hear class. Then meetings I have to attend. So whatever time is remaining between, all these meetings and morning program, that is kept aside. During the day I'm speaking. Whatever time is available beyond the meetings and physical services, I use it only for reading and writing. So that way, that keeps me in proper spirits when I'm constantly in touch with Bhagavatam sound vibration. And also some books come out of that meditation.
Okay.
And
So
sleeping
we
early
have
is an
to,
important point. Sleeping early is a very important point.
yeah, that's what I was about to ask. What time is recommended to sleep, Prabhuji? Because it
As early as
states
possible, at least
around
not
10, few
yeah,
of
10,
them
10
are
also
doing.
maybe little late. 9 is ideal. Okay, 8:30 is
Okay.
even better. There were days where I used to sleep at 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Oh,
But it's not always practical also. Sometimes class starts at 7:30 in the night. Okay. So my night sleep depends on if I have night classes or not. But generally I try to sleep by 9:30 latest.
okay.
10 is like late for me.
Oh,
Then
oh,
only we
oh.
can get up around 3:30.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, and you were saying that you'll have to hear to classes also, right? So, whose classes do you inspire to
Daily
hear?
morning we have temple Bhagavatam class. Sometimes I may not be able to attend, definitely. But morning Bhagavatam classes are there. But other occasionally we have multiple devotees speaking, online classes and all. So I
Out of
like
them,
to.
whom do you inspire? I mean, it's like to whom you are inspired to hear the Bhagavad Gita?
Okay, I definitely like to hear from my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj. Maximum hearing happened from him only. And secondly, I like Amarendra Prabhu. I like to hear from Amarendra Prabhu. So because pure Krishna Katha, somehow my taste matches. He also quotes a lot of shlokas, and the flow is very simple to digest and very relatable and very shastric, focused on the Shastra. So he's one of my favorite speakers. Yeah. Mainly I hear from these two devotees and others, of course. They are there on the Vyasasana at home, at our temple. So there I hear. But specifically going to recordings and hearing, I hear from Maharaj and Amarendra Prabhu.
Okay, okay. So live classes will be at your temple. That's what you're saying, right,
Yes.
Prabhuji?
Yes.
Okay. So, and in this path of bhakti, for you, who is the inspiration, Prabhuji? Who's the inspiration for you in this path of bhakti so far?
Yes. Definitely, I must say His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj. He's my greatest source of inspiration. And I should also attribute a lot of credit, in fact, maximum credit to the books that I read, Prabhupada's books. The way Prabhupada has presented Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, we never had personal interaction, but reading book is the personal interaction with Prabhupada in one sense. So, yeah, reading Prabhupada's books inspired me. Hearing directly from a spiritual master inspired me. Then, now, next, Gauranga Prabhu. Right, he has been my guide and mentor since 2008. So I take a lot of inspiration from his zeal, his dedication to service, and his willingness to serve, help other devotees when they're stuck in various ways, and his dedication to Prabhupada's movement and how he wants to spread Krishna consciousness everywhere by his strategies and his planning and connecting with many devotees and helping them in 100 different ways. And then, yeah, that one thing, the Gauranga Prabhu inspires me a lot. And we have some friends at ashram also. There are some very simple-hearted, nice devotees who are satisfied, happy, grateful, looking at them next door. That also inspires me. Actually, like we cannot say only one person. I just spoke to you the names of 3-4 devotees, but the inspiration that we get to practice bhakti comes from multiple sources in multiple flavors. Right? From Prabhupada, I get deeper understanding of the scriptures. Okay. From my spiritual master, I understand the application perspectives of all these pastimes, and Maharaj goes deep into the emotions of all the characters of Bhagavatam and analyzes them and brings out a lot of Vaishnava qualities. And from Gauranga Prabhu, I see him having a lot of service attitude, and then how to demonstrate all the principles of service attitude I can see from him. And many other devotees around me, they also inspire me in multiple ways. So just by hearing kirtan of some devotees, we get inspired. Just by seeing the menial service done by some devotees, we get inspired. So inspiration comes from multiple sources. Now, when I give kids classes, some kids inspire me a lot. The way they recite shlokas, the way they come on time for class and stay till the end of the class. Even the adults class also they are present. So yeah, source inspiration comes from multiple sources.
That's there, Prabhuji. Kids really, they are when they are doing good, they really inspire us. But I have this one for the youth. I was thinking about these youths. So kids, okay, when they are small, like Prahlad Maharaj has told, from small itself they have to start the bhakti. So when they are starting from small, okay, they are getting used to it. But for the youth, no, when they come, or either the same kids, when they come to the youth, they will change, or the youth who have come, whose parents are in Krishna consciousness, but they are not willing to take Krishna consciousness, but still they support their parents. So what do you like to tell to them, Prabhuji? Like, means like, how can we inspire them to come into bhakti?
It's a very big topic.
Because we say them to chant or just one round also, they say, no, I don't have to do all these things. So what would you like to tell to the youths, Prabhuji?
That is a very fragile age when kids become teens. Up to 13, 12, 13, they're very innocent, yet intelligent or thoughtful also, but they're innocent, they're dependent on parents. Once they enter teens, they are little grown up and they develop some desires and thought patterns and the perspectives in life, and they're little more independently thoughtful when they enter a teenage. So it's not that advisable that we pressurize them to take to bhakti, because bhakti should never be seen like a punishment. Parents can only inspire them. Elders can inspire children and not impose, not force. Okay. So as far as teens are concerned, it's the age where the senses are very strong and the adventurous spirit is very high, and the desire to explore the world is very high, and there is also some kind of pressure. How do I build my career? What kind of job I will take up? How do I settle? So when there are hundreds of such priorities, and there is peer pressure also. At home there may be Krishna conscious atmosphere, but when they go to the college, morning to evening they are in college or school, where they interact with people of their age. They have different aspirations, and they're spending a lot of time with them only, right? What kind of vibrations they will get? So if they are always into Krishna consciousness, they feel totally alienated, or they look like an outcast amongst their friend circles. That also is a bit difficult. So we need to empathize with them and then see their challenges also. Okay, apart from enforcing Krishna consciousness upon them, we need to also empathize with them. Okay, from their side, what can they do? So career pressure is there, and peer pressure is there, so many things. But we can tell what is what. Definitely, we can pray for them, and the small advice that I have is, when we bring them in contact with fixed up devotees of their age group, it works better than parents or elders instructing them or advising them or guiding them. That has its role, it has its own impact, definitely. But when they see devotees of their age, oh, you can study also, you can do well in your academics also, you can have good friendships and relationships in your college also, and you're doing Krishna consciousness also. So that kind of good example from their age group will inspire them more. So since childhood, if parents ensure that their children come in contact with other children who are also trying to practice devotional service, together they will grow up in their devotion, right? So, in short, age group matters, right? So their own age group people should, we should bring them in touch with people of their own age group who are also practicing Krishna consciousness effectively. So that's important. Then secondly, they hear less and they observe more. They hear also definitely, but they observe. When the parents are genuinely practicing Krishna consciousness and relishing their practice, they are being enthusiastic, then they will be more inspired. And secondly, their struggles should be acknowledged. We cannot dismiss their struggles. And their age also should be acknowledged. Yes, at their age, what challenges they have, one should be able to understand also, instead of just chastising them that you are not chanting. Right? Yeah, there can be little push, definitely, but some kind of acknowledgement should be there. Otherwise, people, they may think that, oh, our elders are not acknowledging our current situation and all. There are many more things that we can share. I don't want to make this interview
So generally
elaborate.
is that, yeah. So generally is that we should not force them. So we can
We
just
should
tell to
inspire
them.
Some
We
little
can
push may be
inspire.
required, but what works better probably is bringing them in contact with good fixed up
Their
devotees of their age group, right? That's like one tip that I can give in this interview, but I keep speaking in private forums more, but here I would like to emphasize on this
Thank
one
you. Thank
point.
you. And what do you think about the quality of a devotee, Prabhuji? Like, what is the important quality? We have studied that Vaishnava qualities that there so many Prabhupada has listed, right? So, what do you think the most important qualities that a devotee should have or should develop?
All that Prabhupada has emphasized, all that Krishna spoke in the 13th chapter, 16th chapter, and 12th chapter, Amanitvam, Adam Bhitvam, Ahimsa, Kshantirarjavam, all of them are important. But Mahaprabhu emphasized 4 qualities. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtanaya sadaharihi. So we will be able to chant the names of Krishna always to the degree we are humble at heart. We are tolerant of the inevitable inconveniences that this world presents in front of us. And we should genuinely respect others for what they are. And we should not hanker for being honored by others. So these are the most important qualities. It's easier said than done. Every day we chant the shloka in Sikshashtakam and we can repeat the shloka, we can tell the meaning. It's very easy. But actually imbibe these qualities, demonstrate these qualities and develop these qualities is a lifetime project. But you ask what are the important qualities? These are the important qualities that Mahaprabhu emphasized. And we are all on a big journey, work in progress. To develop these qualities so that we will chant Hare Krishna nicely.
Okay, so that Anartha Nivritti stage will take a lot of time. For that, we need a tolerance. Tolerance is the main quality that we have
Tolerance. You have to tolerate the temptations of this world humbly.
Yeah. So, Prabhuji, you told that you came at your age of 20, which means like around 2005, something. You came to
2005,
ISKCON.
first time I heard the name ISKCON. 2006, mid 2006, I started chanting regularly. Earlier, I chanted 1 or 2 rounds on and off. But 2006 mid, somewhere in summer holidays, May, June, I started chanting 16 rounds and more regularly, daily.
Okay, fine. So then in these many years, we have Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, right? So how you started your Bhagavatam reading, Prabhuji? So, and how you were able to...
2010 February 28th, it was Gaur Purnima Day.
Oh, you remember
Actually,
the date, the time?
Yeah, that's the first time I started reading Bhagavatam, right? I should remember the date.
Well, I think I should also make a note when I started reading that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a special day. Actually, Bhakti Shastri was completed for us. But I felt I did not read Bhagavad Gita thoroughly. I was not satisfied with one reading of Bhagavad Gita. I read it before also, but in Bhakti Shastri, we read it little more systematically. Bhakti Shastri exams are over. I think we got certificates also, I don't remember. But I thought of reading Bhagavad Gita again. And one of our devotees said that, no, you should start reading Bhagavatam. No, let me just read Bhagavad Gita properly, then I'll get it. You read once or twice, right? That's sufficient. Not sufficient. We can read it later anyways. Your rereading can happen later, but you should start Bhagavatam. If you are delaying to study Srimad Bhagavatam, you are postponing your spiritual advancement. He said like that. in a very jovial way, in a very in a light-hearted manner. I said, okay, fine, I'll read. He said that in January. Then February, Gaur Purnima Day, I started. And first, when I opened, introduction is Mahaprabhu's life history. Prabhupada writes Mahaprabhu's life history in introduction of Bhagavatam. So on 2010, like February 20th, Gaur Purnima Day, I began reading Bhagavatam with Mahaprabhu's story, with Mahaprabhu's life sketch. Then I continued, and I found it.
And you side by side you take notes, Prabhuji. That's what you were saying, right? So when you were reading, also you took notes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, notes.
So yeah, that's actually a very good tip for us to take notes side by side. So and how you, after knowing all these, like how you came to Krishna consciousness, and very thankful for your advice for the youth and for the children. And how you came to this Bhakti Sanga, Prabhuji? How you came in contact?
Bhakti Sanga. I don't know. I think during COVID time only, some devotee just messaged me on WhatsApp, I think. You want, at that time, it was on a different platform, not on Zoom. It was audio classes, not video classes. I don't, conference?
Bhakti Sanga Japa conference, yeah. That is a full name.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
Conference call.
There is another name for that. I don't remember. App. Zoom. You started Zoom.
I think Filmora or something. Yeah, I also forgot. Yeah, there is some app. Yeah, for that.
Yeah, on those audio classes used to happen. So I spoke like that. I used to keep my phone here and then speak like that. Sometimes I used to walk and speak also in your classes. Then eventually they shifted to Zoom. Yeah, in COVID time, some devotee requested me. I don't even remember first time when did I give. So then since then they are regularly asking me. Sometimes I say I'm not available. Sometimes I give when I'm available.
Okay. So then, okay. So being like around, I think 3 years or 4 years in this Bhakti Sangha. So what do you like that Bhakti Sangha should inculcate? So like what the changes you want us to make in Bhakti Sangha? Do you have any suggestions, Prabhuji?
I don't know, Mataji. I come once in a while and give a class and go. But whenever I give class in this forum, I felt very happy and not just happy. I felt that confidence that the audience here are very mature and they are ready for full Krishna Katha. Okay, I don't have to restrict myself at all. I can quote as many shlokas as I want. I can speak as deep philosophy as I want. I can just analyze the pastimes as much as I want. Because sometimes when you are speaking to certain audiences, we may have to restrict ourselves. We cannot present it completely. The reason being they may be little new. For example, kids, we have to speak. We can't speak thick philosophy and then speak fast. We have to speak very slowly. So there is a audience-oriented presentation that we need to make, right? According to their needs and their moods, right? So we may know this much, but we have to present only this much according to their need and the situation. But in Bhakti Sangha, apart from few other such forums, in Bhakti Sangha especially, I felt that I don't have to restrict myself at all. I can speak pure Krishna Katha, right? Full blow with as many shlokas as I want, and devotees can accept it. At least based on the questions, I can understand. The quality of questions that I get at the end of the class, and application oriented questions, and devotees are just capturing the shlokas and putting in the chat box, and very mature questions they're asking. So that gives a lot of satisfaction and nourishment, because when the devotees are very active and participating nicely, naturally we feel more excited and enthused and inspired to go deep into the topics. And that nourishes ourselves by thinking more on Krishna's glories. So I found that in this Bhakti Sanga Japa group in last few years whenever I give class. And I don't know the other activities of the group. I can't say anything more.
Very well. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, actually, for that. You started your Bhagavatam reading, right? So when you completed it, Prabhuji?
2010, right? Completion date I never noted because I never completed. It's continuing forever. There's only starting date.
So I think we should always, Bhagavatam is for the life, for the whole this life. So we have to keep it for our life long to study it. So that's how I understand it. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your very valuable time and association. So this was really very, very nice interview, Prabhuji, which we had with you. And keep giving us your association, and keep encouraging us also to move forward on this platform to serve the Lord. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatripasya kripa sindhupe vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ji ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.